Meghan Markle and Harry make the Queen incredibly upset with their exit, Piers Morgan has claimed. Hello everyone and welcome to the Sussex Daily News version 2 YouTube channel. Tonight we update some breaking news about Harry and Meghan. Piers Morgan has discussed the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's recent departure from the royal family in an exclusive interview with express.co.uk. The outspoken GMB host, who often discusses the couple on the show, has said the Queen would be very upset about the move. Mr. Morgan told the website, "On Meghan and Harry, I think she will be incredibly upset about it. This is her grandson. It's very strange. It's obviously nothing like anything we have seen before with the royals, and I think the Queen will be very upset by it. It's quite obvious that the pair only care about themselves and the money they can make through their royal connections. If Harry had cared, he would have taken Archie to see his great-grandmother and great-grandfather and other close members of the royal family. They will have to face it. Neither he nor Meghan Markle cares one jot about the royal family." He also opened up about how the Queen must be feeling about the coronavirus pandemic. The journalist praised the monarch for her compassion and civic-mindedness. He said, "I think she will be very concerned about what is happening. She is a woman of great empathy and humanity, and I think she will find it very distressing to see so many people in the country suffering, and has caused huge suffering in so many different ways." Yes, absolutely agree with Mr. Morgan. It's time their titles, rights, and privileges were stripped from them. She is the patron of our national theater. What has she done for them during this pandemic? They hold posts in the Commonwealth, though you would not know it. Now, if it was America, he has a prestigious post in the rugby world. What has he done for the sport? Appealed for rugby balls so he can teach his son rugby? In a country where baseball is the sport that counts, that and basketball, but not rugby. Harry and Meghan Markle are toxic. They will not be silenced on their own. Meghan won't play second fiddle to anyone, including Her Majesty. Lesson learned from Wallis Simpson. They will wreak havoc in the monarchy, no matter who is king. The best is to say goodbye. The media avalanche needs to stop, and it begins with Harry and Meg. However, a viewer from the Daily Express comments that the Queen may be upset. I'm sure the taxpayers who funded their lavish wedding won't be. Very surprised at the Queen's lack of judgment, allowing this con person into the family. William could see there could be a problem, and as a responsible brother, gave some good advice to his sibling. The Queen, with all her experience and wisdom, knows where her duty lies without any more interference. But another said, "What Meghan and Harry do is up to them. During her long and amazing life, I imagine Queen Elizabeth has been through far worse. She may be upset, but no one really knows. Most likely the Queen will keep a dignified detachment and let everyone else guess what she's thinking, without anyone really revealing her true feelings, and that is probably as it should be. Of course, there's never a shortage of people saying otherwise. Even though the Queen is a public figure, her private life should be nobody else's business, in my view. At rock bottom, Her Majesty is a loving, kind, and decent lady who is surely heartbroken at what 3 members of her family are putting her and the rest of her family through. Most of us grieve for her as we would any family experiencing these personal tragedies. As Queen, she will do as she must, but I hope she knows there are many of us out here wishing she didn't have to be going through this nightmare." Meanwhile, Mr. Morgan commented on Meghan and Harry's departure from the royal family in his new book, Wake Up. In the book, the journalist charts the key dates and events of 2020, including the fateful day when the couple announced on Instagram they would be stepping down as senior members of the royal family. Commenting on the news, Mr. Morgan wrote, "I've seen some disgraceful royal antics in my time, but for pure arrogance, entitlement, greed, and willful disrespect, nothing has ever quite matched this nonsense from the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. I put inverted commas around those titles because I sincerely hope they won't exist much longer." The journalist then went on to urge the monarch to strip the pair of their official titles. He said, "Indeed, if I were Her Majesty the Queen, I would unceremoniously strip these deluded clowns of their titles with immediate effect and dispatch them back into civilian life. Nobody tells the Queen what to do. She's the most powerful, respected person in Britain, and right now she's facing a direct threat to everything she has worked so hard to maintain. Harry and Meghan's astonishingly brazen and selfish antics have left her no choice but to cut them loose and fire them both from the royal family. The Queen should get rid of these whining, ego-crazed leeches before it's too late." Mr. Morgan went on to explain to express.co.uk that if Meghan and Harry want to be truly free and independent, they must drop their royal titles. He said, "They want to have all the commercial buyer power of being the Duke and Duchess of Sussex without any need to do any of the dirty little jobs. And I think that's not on their agenda. They want to be in Hollywood drinking tea with George Clooney. So I think you can't have it all. If you want to go off and be celebrities like the Kardashians, then drop the royal titles." Meanwhile, in other news, Prince Harry may already be toying with the idea of renouncing allegiance to the Queen in order to gain the right to vote in the U.S., a royal expert has claimed. The Duke of Sussex shocked many fans by wading into the world of politics, a tricky topic for members of the royal family to navigate due to their neutrality. But since Harry, 36, is no longer a working member of the firm and is settling into his new lifestyle stateside, Victoria Arbiter said his political speeches may warm up for one-day voting in U.S. elections. The royal expert pointed to Harry and Meghan's recent video urging U.S. citizens to exercise their right to vote in the November 3rd presidential election. If the short clip shot for Time magazine's Time 100 special, the Sussexes encouraged reluctant voters to have their say in the face-off between Republican Donald Trump and Democrat Joe Biden. Writing in honey.9.com.au, Ms. Arbiter said, "I don't doubt Harry's desire to be among those heading to the polls. As a newly minted California resident, he's personally invested in the election's outcome in a way he never would have been before." Despite being a foreign national, his first presidential race since moving to the U.S. may well feel like the most important election of his lifetime. Presently forbidden from exercising his right to vote, it remains to be seen if he's prepared to renounce allegiance to the Queen in order to one day have a say in the country he now resides. Miss Arbiter, whose father is Dickie Arbiter, the Queen's former press secretary, dissected Harry's wording in the video. She pointed out that while discussing the fact that he cannot vote in the U.S. because he is not a citizen, he used the term "this election." She suggested that this could hint that the Duke plans to have that fact changed by the time the 2024 election comes around. In the clip, Harry said, "This election, I'm not going to be able to vote in the U.S., but many of you may not know that I haven't been able to vote in the U.K. in my entire life." It said that if Harry does want to vote in the U.S., he would need to be a citizen of the country. This would require him renouncing allegiance to his grandmother, the 94-year-old Queen, and vowing allegiance to his adopted home. Taking the naturalization oath of the allegiance to the United States, men and women are required to declare an oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen. They must also pledge to bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by law and support and defend the Constitution. Millions of Americans are gearing up to watch Mr. Trump and Mr. Biden battle it out for votes in the final week of campaigning. Vice President Mike Pence's close aides tested positive for COVID, sparking fears he would have to isolate for the remainder of the campaign. But his spokesman said late on Saturday that Mr. Pence and his wife have tested negative, and the White House said Mr. Pence would continue as normal on the campaign trail. We will update more news about Harry and Meghan in the next videos. Please like and share it for anyone you think will also like it. And don't forget to subscribe to the Sussex Daily News channel, version 1 and 2 on YouTube to not miss any new video by our team. Now thank you for watching, goodbye, and see you in a few hours.